Hi, I'm Meris, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the nurse's responsibilities when it comes to mandatory reporting. I'm going to be following along using our Fundamentals of Nursing flashcards. These are available on our website, leveluprn.com, if you want to grab a set for yourself. Or if you are more of a fan of digital products, I would invite you to check out Flashables, the digital version of all of our flashcards available on demand and at your fingertips wherever you go. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So before we begin, I want to talk about what mandatory reporting is. And the concept of mandatory reporting is that there are specific individuals who function in society who have been designated as mandatory reporters, meaning that because of the work they do, the education that they have, and or the contact that they make with other people, it is expected of them to report to the social services system any suspicion of neglect or abuse, okay? And this does not have to be specifically physical abuse, financial, sexual, emotional. It doesn't matter. It's just any sort of suspected neglect or abuse. And these are people such as social workers, nurses, teachers, healthcare providers, those of us who come into contact with a large proportion of the community and who are trained to identify these different things that could be red flags. However, the important thing to know here is that nobody is saying that you yourself need to be a detective, you yourself need to gather all the evidence and put together a formal case and take it to social services and prove to them that you have a case of abuse or neglect on your hands. Quite the opposite. The job of the nurse as a mandatory reporter is this. We are required to report any suspicion of abuse of a child, an elderly person, or of a vulnerable adult. So that might be somebody who is someone with a learning difference or something like that, which makes them vulnerable to different types of abuse or neglect. Notice that I said here suspicion. You do not need to have proof in order to report your concerns or your suspicions. If there is something that is giving you weird vibes, if you feel like something is off, then it's your job to make that report, even if you don't have all the facts, even if you don't know for a fact that this is abuse, because your job is just making the report. Somebody else will investigate it. And if those claims are unfounded, then that's you're off the hook there, right? You made your case. You said, I think there might be abuse for the following reasons. And then someone whose job it is to investigate investigates and says, no abuse here. You've done your due diligence. That is the important part for you. So all we need to do is provide the objective facts about what led us to suspect harm to this patient. So I could say, I could give you an example of the patient appeared fearful in front of the family member, and when I was alone with the patient, they stated, quote, that person makes me feel scared. That's enough for me to put together, and submit that to the state, to my social work department. But the important thing here is that I'm not saying, and also that person, they were looking kind of suspicious and they, I didn't like their vibe. And I'm just giving you the objective facts about what I observed that led me to this suspicion. However, the thing that I like, the crux of this for both your test taking purposes and for your clinical practice is the following. Your priority action is always going to be to protect that patient from harm. That's your priority action always, all the time, for anything. But when we're talking about abuse, my priority action is not going to be, getting everybody's stories and all of this kind of stuff and observing how they act. If I think that this family member, this person is, abusing or neglecting my patient, I need to make sure my patient is safe and I need to do whatever that takes. So if I have strong concerns that maybe I walked in and I saw a family member pinching the elderly patient that I have or something like that, because she wouldn't listen to them, that's grounds for me to get security involved and get that person escorted off of the site. So no matter what you do, your most important next best step is going to be maintaining the safety of your patient. All right, I'm going to test your knowledge of key facts I provided in this video using a quiz question. A child's caregiver provides two different stories as to how their child became injured, leading the nurse to suspect abuse. How should the nurse respond? Report the suspected abuse even if there is no concrete proof. All right, that is it for this video. I do hope you learned something. If you did, would you leave us a comment and let us know something you learned? We do read the comments and it makes our day seeing that. And hey, if you have a great way of remembering something that I didn't mention in this video, leave that as a comment too. We like seeing it, but I know it's beneficial to other learners as well. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much and happy studying.
We invite you to subscribe to our channel and share a link with your classmates and friends in nursing school. And if you found value in this video, be sure to hit that like button and let us know what you found to be particularly helpful.